indulge in sinful activities much against our wish? That was the question, right? Krishna has been describing in this chapter known as Karma Yoga many aspects about our prescribed duties. Prescribed duties meaning how we have to perform our routine activities as per the Vedic directions. मेरा मोबाइल स्टैंड होगा घर पे लेके आओ. कहाँ पे बताया ना, मेरा चैंटिंग बैग में है, वो बुक स्टैंड के ऊपर है. Okay. So, what is prescribed duties? Prescribed duties means duties as per the directions given in scriptures. That is called prescribed duty. Right now, we are performing actions, or mostly people are performing actions without any proper directions. They are acting based on situation, circumstances, environment, etc., etc. And these actions, Krishna mentions in the Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, that they are actually implicating us. They are binding us, right? Whereas the directions as given in the Vedas, directions given in the standard books of knowledge called Vedic knowledge, they are going to liberate us. This is the important instruction we have understood from Bhagavad Gita. So while performing your prescribed duties or actions as per the directions of scriptures, there is occasions or there are times when you are forced to act sinfully, even unwillingly. So what is this force within me which is actually making me act like this is the question. So Krishna explained that the force within us is actually our desire to enjoy independent of Krishna, which is known as lust. Kama Esha. And lust, with beginning from lust, other very degrading qualities like anger, greed, illusion, like this, we are entangled in many type of very degrading situations. And this is basically are entangling us, and they are our greatest sinful enemies. So basically, our independent desire to do things whatever way we want, without any proper direction, without any authoritative direction, is the reason for our acting like this sinfully. And like this, we have been acting since many lifetimes. So Krishna's advice in the Bhagavad Gita is that because we are acting like this since many lifetimes, we have been changing our bodies in different species of life. Actually, whatever different species of life you see around us, as trees, plants, animals, insects, birds, humans, they are all different bodies which the spirit souls have taken based on their desire to enjoy independently, which means there are different degrees of lust. This lust is covering our real understanding now, actually. So this is what Krishna is revealing to us, the secret. When the living entity's way of functioning is against the rules and regulations of scriptures, that is called lust. And this lust is nothing but the transformation of our original love for Krishna. That love for Krishna has been transformed into lust now. Love for Krishna means whatever Krishna wants, we'll do. That is actually our situation. As part and parcel of Krishna, we are supposed to serve Krishna. But that particular aspect of serving Krishna, we have forgotten. And we are doing things on our own. This is the cause for our entanglement. So, this is what Krishna explains, that our real knowledge now is covered by this lust. Avritam jnanametena means our real knowledge that I am part and parcel of Krishna, I am servant of Krishna, I am nicely devoted to Krishna. This knowledge is covered. And some other type of understanding has come that I am independent, I can do whatever I want, I have no connection with Krishna. This type of a wrong understanding has come in our in our existence right now. And this is called kama or lust. And Krishna says, this is a nitya vairina. This type of understanding that I'm independent of Krishna, I can do whimsically whatever I want, is our greatest enemy. And this enemy is burning constantly in our heart, so much so that we're trying to satisfy our desires in different ways, but we are not satisfying we are not able to satisfy fully. Right? It is like Krishna says, the fire is constantly burning in our heart, and the constant burning of the fire, whatever quantity of say fuel you supply, the fire will not extinguish. So whatever quantity of fuel you supply, it will not satisfy your lust, right? Your desires. And the fire, whatever fuel you put, it will not get extinguished. It will only further aggravate. That is what is going on in the present situation, right? So Krishna is explaining, this is our situation. We are trying to satisfy our lust. Unsatisfied lust leads to anger. Lust is satisfied, it will become, you become more greedy, lobha, right? So kama, krodha, lobha. Both lobha and krodha lead to moha, illusion. So like this, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada. Mada means, you are very proud. Oh, I can do this, I can do that. And you end up in what is known as matsarya. Matsarya means envy. You're envious of everybody in the material world. You're envious to the extent that you want to satisfy your tongue by killing other animals, right? For your own taste. Envious of other humans, envious of other entities. Like this, our life goes on in the material world. Now, we'll come to the next verse of our discussion, verse number 40. Please have your Bhagavad Gita copy in front of you. So Krishna says, where is this lust sitting in our body? What are these enemies? Are this kama, krodha, lobha? They're all enemies sitting within our body. They are covering our real knowledge and bewildering us actually. So where are these enemies sitting? Krishna gives wonderful description. He says, Indriyani mano buddhir asyadhishtanam uchyate etair vimohayatyesha jnanam avritya dehinam. Krishna says, the senses, the mind, and the intelligence are the sitting places of this lust. Indriyani, senses, manaha, mind, buddhi, intelligence. These are the places where this lust is sitting. Okay. And what is happening because of this? This is jnanam avritya. It is covering our real knowledge. What is real knowledge of the living entity? Real knowledge is that I am part and parcel of Krishna. I have to serve Krishna. This is my real knowledge. It's like the part and parcel of your body, different parts of your body. I have to serve your body. If the hand will say, I will not serve you, then it is going mad. Right? Likewise. So the part and parcels have to serve Krishna. That is the natural situation, our situation. This real knowledge of the living entity is covered. Some curtain has come about in real knowledge. And this is bewildering. Bewildering means you don't know what to do. You're completely confused. Life after life, you're doing so many things. One life as a human, one life as a man, one life as a woman. Like this, life is going on and on and on. So Prabhupada says, this way the enemy has captured different strategic positions in the body of the conditioned soul. When there's a fight, everybody has to know, where is my enemy? How my enemy is going to attack? Where is he sitting? How will the attack happen? Right? So we are having enemies sitting in our body right now. They are sitting where? They're sitting in the senses, they're sitting in the mind, they're sitting in the intelligence. So Krishna is giving us hint where this lust is sitting. Right? If you want to capture this lust, or rather defeat this lust, then you can know and fight it out properly. That's the point. Slowly, Krishna is going to build up this nice, wonderful concept. Just like the police knows where is the thief hiding. Once he gets proper information, they'll go and catch them. Right? So like this lust is sitting in our senses, mind, intelligence. So very nicely Prabhupada analyzes this. It's a very nicely psychological understanding it is. Very beautiful understanding Prabhupada gives. What is mind? Mind is the center of all our activities. Right? Mind is like the, you can say, the driver. The senses are driven by the mind. Whatever your senses want, the mind is directing. To do this, do that, do this. Mind will say, so let's go to a restaurant. Immediately, the legs get up. You go to a vehicle. You sit in a vehicle. Then you start driving. Then you reach the restaurant. There you sit in a place. Your food comes. You start eating from your. You take the food in the hand, and your mouth you put in the mouth. Like this, every other sense is following the dictation of the mind. So mind, in one sense, is the center of all activities of the senses. Whatever senses are acting, mind directing. If the mind will say, no, don't go to restaurant, senses will not act. Right? So senses, either to do something or not to do something, to accept something or reject something, mind has to give direction. So mind's function is accepting, rejecting, accepting, rejecting. Okay. So in that way, mind has lot of impressions or ideas, Prabhupada says, lot of ideas of sense gratification. It's a reservoir of ideas of sense gratification. Nice example Prabhupada gives, just like nowadays we have mobiles, you go on clicking photos, no? It'll all go and sit in gallery in your memory of the phone. Likewise, whatever sense gratification you have experienced, you'll be experiencing, will all be going and sitting in your mind. And that mind is how much GB? It's not GB. You cannot even know. It's so many lifetimes, millions of lifetimes memory sitting. Okay, no question of GB, TB, whatever. Gigabyte, terabyte, it's beyond. Lifetimes of impressions are sitting. Huge stock. That's why sometimes some thought comes up which is not at all connected to anything in this lifetime. Something suddenly pops up. Right? So, mind is the reservoir of all ideas of sense gratification, and mind has been taking impressions or ideas of sense gratification so many lifetimes. Any sense gratification means anything which is going to satisfy my senses. That is called sense gratification. Your eyes wants nice thing to see. Your tongue wants nice thing to taste. Your ears want nice something very good to hear, good music. Like this, every sense is demanding different sense object. So the mind is having so many impressions of different sense gratificatory experiences. This mind, collectively, the mind, intelligence, everything within us is called chittam. Chittam means is a subtle body within us. And because of this, the mind is having so many ideas, it is giving direction. Okay, go and eat this, go and do this, go and hear this, go and do like this. I want to see this movie, I want to see that. Like this, so many things are going on in your mind. Next, we analyze about senses. Senses are simply instruments directed by mind. And we have one more faculty within us called intelligence. Intelligence, Krishna explains as the power of discrimination. The power of discrimination of what is right, what is wrong, what is to be done, what is not to be done. Right now, what has happened is, because of our so many lifetimes of our sense gratificatory experiences, we are so much absorbed in sense gratification, intelligence has somewhat become accustomed to sense gratification. Right? It is just given a power of attorney. You know what is power of attorney? In legal term, power of attorney means it has given the rights of even discrimination to mind. Intelligence is supposed to have a proper sense of discrimination, correct, wrong, proper, improper, but it has, it is sitting silently. It has given all powers to mind. It's like, Prabhupada gives example. You are sitting in a car and you tell your driver, take me wherever you want. What will driver do? Sanyalji? Driver will simply take wherever he wants. Right? So like that, we have given power to our mind. Mind is going all over universe. We want to go everywhere. No direction. Right? Somebody asks you, where are you going? I don't know. Wherever mind is taking me, I'm going. That's what is happening with all of us. Keeping the remote in your hand, TV remote, simply, toggling between different channels. Oh, this tuck, 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 tuck. Nowadays, internet is having so many things to waste your time. YouTube, Facebook. You just get into that, you'll not even know, 2 hours over. You realize later on, which means mindless, senseless activities are going on. Right? When TV was invented, there was a comment. TV is called idiot box. Right? Why? Because whatever comes in that, simply you have to watch. Idiot. Idiot means simply you are being bombarded with some information and some things. You go on seeing simply like this. That is called idiot box. So like this, our intelligence has become, idiot now. No sense of discrimination. So Prabhupada says, intelligence department is become the capital of such lustful propensities. Capital means the currency. Simply it is supporting, helping the mind. So because intelligence is, next to intelligence is soul, spirit soul. Right? This is the hierarchy. Krishna is going to explain in one more, in a little later verse. Right? Senses, above senses is mind, beyond mind is intelligence, and above intelligence is spirit soul. So this intelligence has become so much lusty. Lusty means full of lustful propensities. What is lust? Lust means any desire, any intense feeling that I want to enjoy independent of Krishna. So you can ask, what is wrong in that? Wrong is that it will only implicate you further. Because if your hand thinks or your different senses think, I'll enjoy independently, it can never enjoy. Very nice story Prabhupada gives from the, from the one of the Sanskrit literatures. It is called Udayendriyana. Once it so happened, the different bodily parts of the body, they all went on a strike. Hands, legs, eyes, ears. They are all thinking, see, all of us are working so hard, and this fellow's stomach is simply eating, doing nothing. So they all went on a strike. So everybody thought, why should we feed the stomach? Let us feed ourselves. So like this, 1 day went on, 2 days went on, 3rd day, all senses have become so weak, they couldn't even lift their hand. Hand is not even able to lift it. Walking is not able to, walking is not possible. Eyes have become very weak. Every sense is becoming very weak, not able to function. Later on, they realized that unless the food is supplied to the stomach, from stomach, all our different parts are all nourished nicely. This jnana, this knowledge they realized. Then immediately the food was put to stomach and all of them got nourishment. But this is the problem with lust. Lust means independent of Krishna, you want to enjoy, you'll never be satisfied. You have to give pleasure to Krishna, and Krishna will give you unlimited pleasure. That's how we are constitutionally made. That is our real nature, right? So this lusty intelligence means the direction that I want to enjoy like this, I want to do this, I want to do that. This lusty intelligence is influencing the spirit soul to acquire a false identity that I am this body, I am matter. Real intelligence means the spirit soul, real intelligence is I am spirit soul, I am not this body. See what is going on? Senses are being directed by mind. Mind is having so many sense gratificatory ideas, and mind is simply directing, do this, do that, do this for sense gratification. Intelligence is practically has given power of attorney to mind, and this lusty intelligence is influencing the spirit soul to acquire an identity or a person who is telling, I am not this, I am somebody else. I am not spirit soul, I am body. This is what is going on. So like this, we are addicted to sense gratifications in so many lifetimes. And we are mistaking something which is not fact to be fact. Just like you are given a paper rasgulla and told, this is rasgulla, please taste. But paper rasgulla, keep on the tongue, what taste you'll get. But you are made to told, or rather you are told to think, please think, it is very tasty. This is called concoction. This is what Krishna explains in 2nd chapter. When Arjuna asked 4 questions, what are the symptoms of a sthita prajna? What did he say? First thing Krishna explained was, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogata. Verse number 55 of 2nd chapter. Manogataha means mental concoction. Actually speaking, any sense gratification is mental concoction. I take a cigarette, keep it in my mouth. Sense gratification. This is the happiness, which means a sense object coming in contact with sense, we have imagined in our mind, it is giving me pleasure. This is our conception. One sense coming in contact with sense object, a lot of pleasure. Right? Rasagulla, keeping on your tongue, very tasty. Which we are having fever, same rasgulla will not even taste sweet, it will be taste something else. Right? The concoction. See what all concoctions we are made in our mind. All, you can say, cooked up thinking. This is called fake happiness. So like this, mistaken happiness, we are thinking as true happiness, and our life is going on. Any sense gratification in the material world is like this. So which means there is no sense gratification. There is sense gratification with our original senses, spiritual senses. Right now we have our material senses which is enjoying false happiness. So like this, Prabhupada describes this false identification or false identity we have taken up as body. Bhagavatam explains very nicely. First and foremost, we are thinking that this body, which is actually as per Ayurveda, Kapha, Pitta, Vayu, Tridhatu. If you go to Ayurvedic doctor, they will test 3 things. Kapha, Pitta and Vayu. Bile, mucus, and what is the other one? Air. 3 things. Right? So, mucus, bile and air. Kapha, Pitta, Vayu. 3 things they test. Different, what is the proportion of them? Based on that, the doctor will recommend a medicine to you. So we are thinking we are just this Kapha, Pitta, Vayu, bag of Kapha, Pitta, Vayu. Our body is a bag of Kapha, Pitta, Vayu. If you think, then it is a wrong identification. It's like thinking, I am this vehicle or I am this shirt. If I think that is wrong, that's not my identity. Then from this body, I have my wife, I have my husband, I have my children. Second type of wrong identification. Me and mine. See how the wrong identification or the mistaken identification is spreading. This is called aham mama. Krishna is repeatedly telling in Bhagavad Gita from the beginning, nirmama, nirahankara. You're not this body. You're part and parcel of Krishna. And nothing belongs to you. But we are thinking, oh, this is me and my body, my bodily connections. Not only that, third point, Krishna Bhagavatam explains, the place where I am born. If I go to some other foreign country, if I am from, Uttar Pradesh, I say, oh, you're also from Uttar Pradesh. Very nice. Both of us from same place. Some connection develops. Right? Very bonding develops, as though, we are known to each other for so many lifetimes. Right? Like this, the place of birth, your family connection, and you think that your body, and you go to pilgrimage place, you think just gone for some, some sort of you have to go take bath in a river and do some puja and come back. That is not the purpose. The purpose of going to pilgrimage is to hear from a sadhu, understand the importance of the holy place, and absorb your mind in devotion to Krishna. So Bhagavatam explains, such people having this bodily identification are like animals. Right? They are like animals. They have no knowledge, transcendental knowledge they don't have, understanding they don't have. They are like cows and asses. Gokharaha, it is mentioned. So, humans' intelligence will come down to animal intelligence if you start identifying with the body. So, this is the problem. If you have lusty propensities, lust is sitting in mind, senses, intelligence, and these lustful propensities will only further entangle you more and more to take more and more bodies. That's what Krishna is explaining here. It's going to, cover your real knowledge, and it's going to bewilder you more and more. Okay, so next come to the next verse number 41. What does Krishna say here? So Krishna is advising how to curb this enemy, or how to kill this enemy. Right? He has told where the enemy sits. First of all, Krishna explained the enemy is lust. And this enemy is making you take different bodies. And this enemy is constantly within your heart, burning like a fire and covering your real knowledge and bewildering you. And this enemy is sitting in your mind, intelligence, and senses. And to control this enemy, what you should do? Next 3 verses, Krishna explains. Very nice. Next, 41st verse, Krishna says, Tasmatvam indriyanyadau niyamya bharatarshabha papmanam prajahi enam jnana vijnana nashanam. Very strong words Krishna uses in this, in this context. He says, your jnana vijnana nashanam. Your urge for self-realization is completely destroyed. By what? By this kama. This very papa is very big sinful, greatest sinful enemy. Is going to destroy your urge for self-realization. What is self-realization? Self-realization means realizing that you are not this body, you are spirit soul. And realizing that as spirit soul, you are having eternal relation with Supreme Soul, Krishna. That relationship is so wonderful that it will be revealed to you as we move forward in our devotional service. So this is what self-realization means. So Krishna is advising Arjuna, oh Arjuna, best of the Bharatas, Bharatarshabha, what you should do? From the beginning, Indriyanyadav, in the very beginning, you regulate the senses. Control the senses, which means senses will tell you, enjoy this, that this, mind is directing, do that, do this, enjoy senses. Eat like this, drink like this, sleep, see like this, hear like this, enjoy all senses nicely. So Krishna is telling, if you cannot regulate your senses the way Krishna wants us to use them, then what happens? This will destroy your knowledge and self-realization. Jnana vijnana nashanam. So Krishna is advising here, from the beginning, you start regulating your senses. What does regulating of senses means? Regulating of senses means using them as per the direction given by Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Right now, your senses are acting in whatever way they want. Directing your senses or conducting your senses, regulated means acting in a way, the way Prabhupada wants us, the way Lord Krishna wants us. Everything Krishna has explained in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is Brahma Vidya. Brahma Vidya means knowledge about Brahman, that I am spirit soul. Krishna is very clearly telling from the very beginning of Bhagavad Gita, you are not the body, you are spirit soul. As spirit soul, you have specific duties, specific responsibilities. Toward that direction, you have to conduct yourself. If you don't follow the directions, you simply act whatever way you want whimsically, then you will be entangled. Karma bandhana, you'll again be entangled in cycle of birth and death. What is karma? Karma means you perform an action and you want to enjoy the fruits of the action. And like this, you want to go on performing actions, enjoy fruits. Performing actions, enjoying fruits. This is called fruitive action. Karma. And this is entangling you so much. I have to, make money. I have to enjoy like this. I have to get name. I have to get fame. I have to do that. I have to do this like this. We're going on throughout the life. And for life after life, we have been doing this. Name, fame, power, prestige, money, enjoying sense gratification in different ways. This is what we have been doing. Animals also doing the same thing. All this sense gratification boils down to 4 things: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So, like this, life after life, based on our desire to enjoy differently, Krishna has been giving us different bodies. Fortunately, we have got a human form after so many lifetimes of evolution. In this human form, we can understand all these things. If we don't try to apply our intelligence in a proper way and misuse it, be misguided, then again you will go back to cycle of birth and death. This is what Krishna explained previously. Right? Very nicely Krishna explained in the same chapter, 31st verse. What did he say? Eme matam idam nityam anutishtanti manava shraddhavanto anusuyanto muchyante tepi karma vihi. If you can do duty as per the injunctions I have given you, following them very faithfully, then you become free from bondage of fruitive action. Muchyante tepi karma vihi. If you don't do, what will happen? Krishna explains in 32nd verse of this chapter, 3rd chapter. One who doesn't do this out of envy, you disregard them, disrespect them, and don't practice them regularly, then you will be bereft of all knowledge. Sarva jnana vimudhamstan. You will be bereft of all knowledge, you will be befooled and doomed to ignorance and bondage. Just see, very clearly Krishna has explained everything. So, the problem with us right now is because of our independent desire to enjoy in this material world without Krishna. That is the root cause of the problem. So we have to understand this propensity to enjoy independent of Krishna is actually a perverted reflection. Perverted reflection means, Prabhupada explains, how on the bank of a pond, you have a tree standing. The reflection of the tree is upside down in the water. That is called perverted reflection. Reflection which is distorted. Right? So, lust is actually our original propensity to Krishna as love of Krishna that is distorted in the material world as lust. That's why it is called lust is the perverted reflection of love of God. As spirit souls, we have love of God. But that love of God is transformed into lust in the material world because we wanted to enjoy independently. So Krishna is advising in this verse that if you don't regulate your senses, this has been instructed from the 2nd chapter onwards continuously. Regulate your senses. Regulate your senses. Why? Because right now our senses are unregulated. It just wants to do whatever it wants. Just like if you go take a vehicle in the road without any regulation, no traffic signal, no one way, no two way, whatever way you want to drive, what happens? You will put yourself into danger, everybody else in danger. Likewise, if you don't follow traffic rules, don't abide by all the normal rules, what is supposed to be followed on the road, then it is not going to be a safe drive for you. Similarly, Krishna is advising that if you have to perfect your life with regard to reaching the goal of your life, that is going back to spiritual world, reinstate your situation as spirit soul, follow the rules, regulations as given in scriptures, especially Bhagavad Gita in this Kali Yuga. Right? So, Prabhupada is very nicely giving this whole presentation of Bhagavad Gita in what is known as Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness means you understand that I am part and parcel of Krishna. My duty is to serve Krishna. Simply I have to serve Krishna. This much understanding if you have, that is called Krishna consciousness. So if you practice this step by step, Krishna consciousness has very simple, rules, regulations. First rule is you have to chant Hare Krishna mantra every day. Right? Fixed number of times. Now, to begin with, at least chant one mala, that is 108 times. And slowly come to the level wherein you are chanting at least 16 malas. That is the regulation Prabhupada gives. Minimum 16 malas. This itself is going to give you so much of control of the senses. See, in Krishna consciousness, what we do is, we don't try to artificially control the senses. We take help of Krishna by placing Krishna in our heart. Krishna is going to control all the senses. Right? Just like in a very nice way Prabhupada explains. If you can place Krishna always in the front, he is such a great warrior. He will fight all the enemies within you. Lust, anger, greed. Prabhupada says in one lecture, not even lust, anger, even their fathers cannot do anything. Lust, anger, fathers also cannot do anything. Which means Krishna is so powerful. He's like sun, supreme shining sun. He can drive away all the darkness within our heart. So this is the point. And Prabhupada also says, oh, I have wasted so many years in my life. I am too old to understand this. Or maybe I cannot understand. Prabhupada says, no, that is not the right attitude. Basically, from any stage of life, whatever your age is, doesn't matter. You, from the time of understanding the urgency, to take up this nicely, regulating the senses in Krishna consciousness. Right? Whatever Prabhupada has told us, let us try to follow. We only eat prasadam. Big regulation. Otherwise, your tongue wants to eat anything and everything. Prasadam means food offered to Krishna. How to offer food to Krishna, everything we have been discussing. Right? We only consume prasadam. We chant Hare Krishna. We try to read Bhagavad Gita, follow 4 regulations. No meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex. So like this much regulation, if you do, Prabhupada says that is going to perfect your life. And Prabhupada says this is what is going to transform the lust into love of God again. So age is not a barrier. Your situation is not a barrier. Your profession is not a barrier. Any situation, any condition, you can take up Krishna consciousness seriously, provided you follow the simple regulations, what is being given by Prabhupada. That's all. That's what is the meaning of this verse. Krishna says, from the beginning, he is saying, but from the beginning, where you have controlled? At least from the time whenever you have understood this, start following what Prabhupada has told you. Controlling means follow what Prabhupada has told you. Seriously, sincerely. Enough. That is equivalent to regulating your senses. By this, what happens? The jnana, vijnana, nashanam, the lust, which is going to destroy your knowledge and self-realization, is going to be completely smashed out. Okay. So Krishna is explaining how to control the senses and how to come back to your original Krishna consciousness. Now, Krishna is going to reveal one more wonderful secret in the next verse. Why how this control can happen. Control you have told, but how to control? Next question. That is answered in verse number 42 and 43. 42nd verse. Indriyani paranyahur indriyebhya param manaha manasastu para buddhir yo buddhe paratastu saha. So Krishna is giving a hierarchy of how in our body the different senses and different faculties are situated. He says our senses are superior to dull matter. Definitely, because senses are able to act in a particular way, whereas matter cannot move. Right? So senses are better than matter, whereas the mind is higher than senses. Why? Because mind is controlling the senses. We discussed mind is like a driver. And actually speaking, above the mind is intelligence. Intelligence is supposed to give proper guidance to the mind. But right now, I told you, we have given power of attorney to the mind. But it can be corrected, not a problem. So, but above the intelligence, there is you as a person, the spirit soul. So the hierarchy is above matter, above matter there is senses, above senses mind, above mind intelligence, above intelligence we have spirit soul. Right? So now what is going on with regard to these various different, you can say they are called different self. The sensual platform or sensual, the animal way of life is I am senses and sense gratification is life. That is called sense gratification life or a sensual self. You think that I am this body. Generally people think I am this body means senses. And sensual platform means animalistic way of life. What is animal life? Ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithuna. Okay. And some people think they are not simply senses, they are mind. Mind means relationship, emotions, family, bonding, friendship. These are all called mind, mental. Right? So this is what is going on in human society. We have a, marriage, friendship, we have relations, we have this whole human society is going on. We are not simply grossly engrossed in sense gratification. At least we have a system or we have a way of working in society in terms of mind. Mind means emotional. Is emotional self. So sensual self, very basic. Next is emotional self, that is mental self. Third is called intellectual self. Intellectual basically means knowledge, discovery, knowing things, to understand things. That is called intelligence, right? And power of discrimination. Right? Just like there are thinkers, philosophers, scientists, some they have they say intelligent, they're very intelligent. They are beyond emotional way of working to next level. Intellectual, gyanis, right? That is called intellectual self. They have come above the sensual self to mental self to intellectual self. Right? And beyond these three selves is spiritual self, which is actually the original self. If spiritual self is out of this body, other three selves are of no use. Do you agree? You have mind, you have intelligence, you have senses, everything, but it will not function if the soul is out of the body. So Krishna is trying to tell us that this is the hierarchy, try to understand. The hierarchy is that the senses are there, which is better than matter, but better than senses, mind is there. Above mind, there is intelligence, and above intelligence, there is spirit soul. So, the advice Prabhupada gives in this this purport is that we have to awaken our real intelligence. This is what Krishna has been telling from the second chapter. If you remember, second chapter, Krishna has used the word Buddhi Yoga. We have our real Buddhi. We have to always understand, as spirit soul, we have our original faculties of original mind, original intelligence, original senses, all real spiritual things are there. But those are being covered now, and we are given a false, rather a material body, material senses, material mind, material intelligence. Now, what we are supposed to do is, the intelligence, whatever we have right now as material intelligence, this has to be connected with the intelligence of Krishna. Just like you take your mobile socket and connect it to the power socket, mobile power to the power socket. And switch on. What happens? Power flows. Power comes in the cord, in that mobile say wire, and that you can charge your mobile. So what Krishna is telling us here, with your present faculties of mind, intelligence, material mind, material intelligence, material senses, you connect to Krishna. That connection is called Buddhi Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, which means through your intelligence, you always give direction to your intelligence. Now I will follow what Krishna wants me to follow. Krishna wants me to chant Hare Krishna, I will chant Hare Krishna. Krishna's direction is coming through spiritual master Prabhupada. Right? So Prabhupada very nicely explains, with intelligence, one has to seek out the constitutional position of the soul. Right? Means this requires little more, proper cool thinking. Okay, what am I doing? Why am I simply going on this life like this? As that sense should be awakened in us. I've been doing like this and I'm seeing life is so miserable, so frustrating. So Prabhupada says, with intelligence, you have to seek or ask questions. Who am I? Why am I here? Where did I come from? Why the suffering is going on? What is this birth, death, old age, disease? These questions have to be asked. Then engage your mind, because intelligence is supposed to give direction to mind. Mind should be told, follow this. Mind will oppose, but mind should be told very strongly, do this, because the intelligence has a quality called determination. This is what Krishna explained in that verse in second chapter. Vaivasayatmika buddhi ekeha kurunandana. 41st verse, second chapter. Right? Krishna says, buddhi vaivasayatma means determination is connected to intelligence. Okay, so when you are strongly determined, then your intelligence is better. If determination is weak, you'll be simply multi-branched. You'll be doing so many things. Very nice connection Krishna gives. So intelligence should be, in a very strong way, directing mind, do this. Right? Then what happens? Mind is told to always engage in Krishna conscious activities. Prabhupada says, this solves all the problem. So mind, the intelligence is taking directions from Krishna. Do this, do not do this. So one has to strengthen the mind, Prabhupada says, by use of intelligence. Mind right now is a sort of one more instrument which can be trained. Right now, mind is conditioned in a particular way. It can be again trained in a particular way, in tune with Krishna conscious way of actions. Right? If you constantly go on every day chanting, every day reading Bhagavad Gita, then mind will start thinking in that way. Right? So, in that way, what happens? The mind becomes stronger. When the mind is stronger, mind will not give wrong directions to senses. Right? The mind will not say, do this, do that nonsense. No. Maybe earlier I used to, do all nonsense. But now, mind is telling to engage in Krishna's service. That is the practical things, practical result. So, in this way, Krishna is giving direction. How? When you start association with Krishna in Krishna consciousness, by using your intelligence, your mind gets strengthened. and mind is strengthened, then everything else will fall in place. Basically, Prabhupada is telling the soul is directly connected to Krishna. When you chant Hare Krishna, you're directly connecting with Krishna. The strength comes from there. Krishna is going to give you spiritual strength. That is going to control your mind. That's what Krishna has explained. In the Bhagavad Gita last chapter, Krishna explained, Param Drishtva Nivartate, Dasavarjam Rasopyasya, verse 59. Krishna explains that how you may be restricted from sense enjoyment, maybe, but taste for sense objects remain. But if you experience a higher taste in Krishna consciousness, automatically sense gratification can be given up. That is what Krishna explained very clearly. So this is the principle Krishna is again elaborating here in this verse. The last verse of this chapter, Krishna says, it concludes by telling, Evam buddhe param buddhva samstabhyatmana matmana jahi shatrum mahabaho kama rupam durasadam. Like this, knowing that you are transcendental, or you are above all the other lower selves, sensual self, mental self, intellectual self, ego self, everything, you are above all of them. Krishna says you should control the lower self by higher self. This word Prabhupada uses in this translation. Lower self should be controlled by higher self. Thus, by spiritual strength, conquer this kama rupam durasadam. This is a formidable enemy. Right? It is very difficult to control. This enemy can be controlled easily. Right? So, our problem right now is, Prabhupada explains two problems. Desire to lord over in the material world and desire for sense gratification. Bossing over everywhere. I want to be the boss. Everybody should listen to me. Whatever I say is correct. And to indulge in sense gratification. This is our two big enemies. So, when you perform activities as per direction given by Krishna in this chapter, step by step, what happens? When you perform actions in that way, step by step, gradually, Prabhupada says, you develop, or rather your purification starts. And your conditioned mind, conditioned intelligence will start slowly, they start fine-tuning to the way Krishna wants. Right? This is what this chapter is telling. Step by step, you have to, Krishna uses one word called samstabhyatmana, means you have to steadily do this. Gradually, step by step, you have to go on doing every day. Right? And by this steadily directed intelligence, if you start going on doing this, then purification starts. Prabhupada says Krishna consciousness means purification. So, the training, we have to go through this training. Not that overnight you'll get some results. It's not like a magic. I have problem now. Mind is giving problem. I start Hare Krishna today and my problem is solved. It's not an overnight magic what is going to happen to you. There's a process which you have to, because this conditioning has happened millions of lifetimes. This has to slowly, it has to deprogram and come to a normal state. It takes some time depending on your seriousness. Process is very powerful, provided you adopt the process seriously. It's like iron rod keeping in the fire. You have to keep at a considerable time to see that the iron rod becomes fiery or red hot. Not that you just keep and take out. Some effect is there, but not the effect you want. Right? So likewise, Krishna consciousness is a process which has to be adopted under a proper training, under direction of Srila Prabhupada. Then things will start slowly. You can see the transformation within you. The conditioned mind, conditioned intelligence, conditioned ego, all these things slowly starts purifying, and it will start fine-tuning with what Krishna wants. That is called Buddhi Yoga. This is what Krishna explains. And to have this proper fine-tuning, you should have proper knowledge. How to do this? Right? Knowledge means direction. That knowledge Krishna explains in 4th chapter. That is called transcendental knowledge. Complete 4th chapter is how to fine-tune, what to do, what not to do, how to do, directions. That knowledge Krishna gives. Okay, so we'll close now with this chapter. We'll begin with the new chapter next session. Anybody has anything to ask, discuss, you can take a few questions or clarifications. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
Of course, my first request is whether you can send this recording tomorrow in
Sure.
your
We'll do it right away, because already it is recorded, and we'll do it immediately after session. They'll be shared in the group. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Because it's so meaningful, in this statements, that we have made today. Another thing is, I wanted to know is what is the difference between liberation and devotion? Because what I came to understand is that liberation is the same as devotion, but it looks like there is a difference between a subtle difference between both the liberation and devotion. And
in a simple words, liberation is subset of devotion.
Okay, subset of devotion. Okay, Hari Guru.
Okay, if you have come to, you have started performing devotion, means already you are liberated.
Okay, Hari Guru. That's more than enough, Guruji.
Liberation means, very nice definition Bhagavatam gives, mukti.
Mukti, yeah.
Mukti, right now, people understand in different ways. Different connotations are going on about mukti. Some people think from material point of view, okay, I'm having a lot of health problem. If my health is all okay or recovered, mukti. That is material way of thinking. I have some finance problem. That is, taken care. I have mukti. Relieved. They think relief from material problems is mukti. Okay.
Yeah.
Then there is one more concept called nirvana, which Krishna also uses these words in the second chapter. Nirvana means complete material cessation. It is Buddhism speaks like this, that you have problem, no. If you have a cataract in your eyes, you have to just pluck out the eyes. That's all. Then no more cataract. What about my eyes? Forget it. You don't have problem, will not have problem, no. This is Buddhism, nirvana. Right? Complete material cessation. Okay. That is one more type of mukti which people speak about. What Bhagavatam speaks about mukti is totally a very wonderful concept. Muktir hitva anyatha rupam swarupena vyavastitihi. Right now, we have been taking anyatha rupa. What is our real rupa? Swarupa? Our real swarupa is Nitya Krishna Dasa. Jivera Swarupa Nitya Krishna Dasa. Our real swarupa is we are eternally part and parcel of Krishna. This swarupa we have given up, and we have been taking different bodies. Different swarupas we are taking now. Sometimes as a human, sometimes as a man, sometimes as a female, sometimes as a demigod, sometimes as animal, bird, like this. Anyatha rupa we have been taking. So mukti means muktir hitva anyatha rupam. When you give up different types of swarupa, different types of rupas you're taking, anyatha rupa you're taking, what you're taking should give up hitva and become reinstated in your original swarupa as part and parcel of Krishna. That is called mukti. And Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita 18th chapter that once you have come to this platform of mukti, which is also known as Brahma Bhuta platform, spiritual platform, then only bhakti begins. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kankshati. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 18th chapter. So basically, liberation, devotees don't endeavor for liberation. Devotees endeavor only to perform bhakti. Because there is one more nice statement by one of our acharyas, by name Billo Mangal Thakur. He says, when devotee is performing devotion to Krishna, the personality of Mukti, called Mukti Devi, she is standing with folded hands in front of devotee and asking, what service I can do to you?
Wow.
Right? This is the way, Mukti is just as I told you, is a subset, is a byproduct of performance of bhakti. So we are not worried about Mukti or Siddhi or any other, perfections in our life. We are only worried about how to, bhakti means only satisfying Krishna. Okay?
Haribol.
Clear?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji.
Fine. Any other question?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Very nicely, yes, we have covered 3 chapters very nicely, and you've been taking us one by one, verse by verse. Thank you so much. Yes.
we want you to read, because Prabhupada has given all this knowledge so nicely in his purports, and he has spoken also in his lectures. All of you should start seriously reading them. Absorb your mind, right? So we have covered 42 or 46 verses in first chapter, 72 in second chapter. Now another 43 verses, right? So almost 150 verses, more than 150 verses we have covered. Okay, so please read 3 chapters nicely, thoroughly.
Definitely.
Very important.
Yes.
When you move forward, see, everything is connected, so nicely connected. Now Krishna has told about your problem. Our problem is lust.
Lust.
And lust is troubling you. Krishna has told, control this lust. Krishna has told how to control. You should have proper direction. And what a direction, Krishna is going to explain next chapter. Jnana. Divya Jnana, transcendental knowledge. Very nicely Krishna explains, step by step, step by step. Okay, fine. So we'll close now. Thank you, everybody. We'll meet again next week. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.